Hello and welcome to the United Forum, ladies and gentlemen. We are live once again at 10 p.m. For Ralph Rangnick's pre-match press conference. And man, hasn't it been a long time since we last went live? Yes, a small break since there was no real football action going on due to the COVID outbreak. There is, if you don't know, there is a COVID outbreak in England. In common, there was a COVID outbreak in Manchester United specifically, and a few other teams such as Brighton as well, which is why our Brighton game too got called off. We also had COVID outbreaks at Leeds. And I think a few other teams too had a few COVID outbreaks, including the clubs like Liverpool as well. We are live once again tonight at 10 p.m. For once again Ralph Rangnick's pre-match press conference. Like I said, it's been a really long time, and it kind of gives a new sort of feeling all of a sudden because it's been so long since I came live as well. And yes, I know it's Christmas Eve. Most of you guys are out there on vacation as well, tripping out of Colombo Station. I know it's a busy week. You must have questioned yourself if I am going to have the show tonight as well. But since I did have a break last week, I decided that I have to go on with the show. There needs to be some consistency, shouldn't there? Anyway, let's start off once again a short and sweet Ralph Rangnick press conference once again. Just 8 minutes with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. We did see press conferences going on for about from 10 to 11 minutes, whereas Ralph Rangnick's press conferences are quite short, quite sweet. It's on point, no dilly dallies, no fairy tales. It's all blatantly put out there, which is what I like because it's short, it's sweet. Let's start off with the first question. There were very few questions asked from Ralph Rangnick. There were about, I think, only about three journalists who did ask questions from Ralph Rangnick, and I think those three journalists specifically did not ask just one question. It was one whole question, but there were a few other questions connected along with their questions as well. And I specifically think because it is Christmas Eve, maybe a few journalists, most journalists must have gone on vacation as well. These hard workers need a bit of a break as well. And while all the other people go asleep, we start working the United Forum. It's you, it's me, it's us, the community. To start off with the first question that was asked from Ralph Rangnick is the current situation at Manchester United. Especially because of COVID-19, how things are going, the fact that Carrington was closed for almost for 4 to 5 days as well because of the COVID outbreak, players going to isolation, and things related to the present situation because of COVID and the COVID outbreaks in England specifically. So what Ralph Rangnick did have to say is that I quote, as you know, we had last week the last training session on Thursday. On that day, we had 8 outfield players and 3 goalkeepers, and then we closed down training and then we closed down the training ground for 4 days in order to break the chain. And by break the chain, he says the COVID-19 chain, which tells in terms of Manchester United, I think it was a very small outbreak because Ralph Rangnick did say that there were a few players who were affected by COVID-19, but with very mild symptoms, is what Ralph Rangnick did have to say. So, considering Manchester United, there isn't a huge impact. But considering other clubs, Premier League clubs, and England as a whole, there is quite an impact. But just Manchester United, nothing really to worry about because it is mild symptoms and the players are fully back to training as well. And this is what Ryan did have to say as well. So what he did say is today we had 25 outfield players. Paul Pogba is the only one missing out. Everyone else was on board. The development in the last week was extremely positive, is what Ralph Rangnick did have to say. So all positive for Manchester United fans. The squad is back fully fit. Just Paul Pogba missing out. So that is confirmation too that Rafael Varane is back in training as well, alongside Edinson Cavani, who is a doubt. And also we have Harry Maguire who is fit, Luke Shaw who is fit. Luke Shaw we did see put up a performance as well before the Premier League game, so no worries there. So, like the caption does say, Manchester United are back to full strength, which is a positive, definitely a positive in Manchester United terms, but is also a slight problem for Ralph Rangnick because now he's got 25 players to select from, and once Paul Pogba comes in, it's going to be 26 players to select. For a match, you can only have 20 squad players, 11 starting players, 9 substitutes, and out of those 9 substitutes, you can only get 3 on field. 3 substitutions you can make, so plenty of problems for Ralph Rangnick considering squad depth as well. So it's a problem, but a good problem to have, you could say. So let's move on to the next question. It's going to be a really short show. Like I told you, it was a very short pre-match press conference, just about 8 minutes. 3 journalists, a few questions asked about, and somewhat similar questions as well. The next question that was asked from Ralph Rangnick is from Simon Stone, who is a very recognized Manchester United journalist specifically, and around Twitter as well. So one of the most reliable sources we've got alongside the likes of Samuel Luckhurst, Fabrizio Romano, Mark Ogden, and Simon Stone himself. So the next question that was asked from Ralph Rangnick is on the 3 substitutions in England, about the fact that it is England, the only country that has this rule in the Premier League of 3 substitutions, whereas other countries such as Italy, France, Spain have the options of going for 5 substitutions. Why it is only England that has 3 substitutions? And also on the tight schedule, he was asked, and he was also further asked on the fact that England has 2 cup competitions and that making it a tight schedule. So like I told you, there was only about 3 journalists asking for questions, and the journalist specifically, though it was one question in specific, there were there were a few other questions, you could say, added to that first question for Ralph Rangnick as well, and that is why, though there were 3 journalists, it took about 8 minutes, and Rangnick for once had quite a long answer as well. So let me start off with 3 substitutions. What Rangnick had to say on that as well. So what Ranjik had to say is, as far as I remember, the 4 subs were implemented. It was decided every team could substitute 5 players when COVID started 18 months ago. So that is specifically 1.5 years ago. And I think it was the right decision to have more options to change players. Definitely considering players, in fact, Manchester United players, be it Manchester United, be it any football player, considering their fitness, their health as well. I think was for the betterment of that. The 5 substitution rule was brought as well, and England went back to 3. The Premier League specifically went back to 3. I think the 3, for me, in my, now this is about opinion, this is where opinion comes in. I know that most people, even Ralph Rangnick here, supports the 5 substitutions, but I specifically would opt for 3 substitutions. I know there is COVID, okay, COVID apart, only maybe just bring in the 5 substitution rule for the COVID season, just because teams are affected with COVID. But if this does go on, I think, in my opinion, now football is about opinion. This is related to football, and this is my opinion. Do send in yours on the live chat as well, because it is you that keeps the show running. So, in my opinion, the Premier League should stick to 3 substitutions, be it the only country with that rule, because I think when you take Manchester United have got a huge squad. They've got a squad of 25 to 26 players, so definitely having the option of 5 substitutions per game is going to help us. But when you look at teams like Burnley, the Southamptons, the Leeds United, the Brentfords, the bottom teams, the mid-table teams, like I told you, the Southamptons, the Burnleys, the Brentfords, the Leeds Uniteds, the Newcastle Uniteds, Watfords, teams like that, the bottom half of the table, those teams, they haven't got the squad depth that Manchester United have got. They haven't got 26 to 25 players. They've got very limited players, and even with those limited players, you've got injuries. So for a squad, it's a maximum of 20 players. They have 21, 22, 23. You've got injuries, you've got youngsters in the mix as well, players who are really not the potential starters at the Premier League level. So considering other teams, when you take teams such as Manchester United and those bottom half teams, it's in favor of Manchester United, but it is not in favor of those bottom half teams because they have not got that squad depth. And bringing in the five substitution rule, in fact, excuse me, there, for me takes off that the thrill in the game, that cutting edge in the game, because I know it is the substitutions that can decide a game at times, and key substitutions change the game in massive ways. And when you have five substitutions, when the likes of Manchester United take on of Watford, when Manchester United have the option of making five substitutions, we've got five players of good quality coming in. Whereas Watford, they don't have the quality that Manchester United bring in from the bench. So the thrill of the game is taken away from there because these guys don't have that quality. That depth in quality is not there for both teams at times, and therefore takes the thrill of the game, in my opinion. And that is why I want to stick to three substitutions and not five. So do send in your opinion on that as well. Keep sending your chats, anything you've got Manchester United related on that live chat as well. Football is about opinion, and I just shared my opinion to you as well. Do share your opinion on that. So let's move on to Ralph Rangnick's quotes as well. So I quote what Ralph Rangnick has said for that, and he says, "As far as I remember, the four subs were implemented." I did read that too, so I'll skip on to the next quote. To save energy, especially if they have only just recovered from COVID, and the same is true right now. I wouldn't see any situation why it wouldn't be 1.5 years ago. Randy also says England is the only country where they don't allow, in fact, five substitutions. You are still allowed eight field players on the team sheet. You should be able to replace five. You will always have five players on the bench who cannot be substituted on and cannot play, is what Ralph Rangnick did say. And he was further asked, like I told you, he was further asked about this tight schedule and the fact that England and the Premier League specifically don't have this winter break like the other leagues do. The fact that the English teams have to play on Boxing Day, they have to play on Christmas Day as well, on the 2nd of February, in fact 2nd of January and all that. So what he did have to say is, this was asked from, in fact, Simon Stones. What he did have to say is, "You know that better than I do," is what Ralph Rangnick did have to say. Big traditions he did say big tradition to play on Boxing Day 27th. Think we should stick to that and respect this tradition. I'm looking forward to that. First time in my coaching career, there could be two other issues. In fact, he says, "First time in my coaching career that he's playing on these tights, that is playing on these fixtures which are called the traditions, that is on Christmas Day, Boxing Day, and on the 2nd of January." He also says there could be two other issues and have been discussed in the past. In fact, yeah, there could be two other issues and have been discussed in the past. He also says England is the only top league. Now, this is about the leagues, about England having two cup leagues. Like I told you, there were a few questions combined to one question by the journalist, and this is all answering together by Ranjik. So what he did have to say about this, about the English league having two cup competitions, what he did have to say is that England is the only top league that plays two cup competitions. In France, they abolished the second one. We are the only country that plays two cup competitions. This is something we could speak about and discuss. He further says the league is still kept for the third and fourth division teams. In fact, let me rephrase that. The League Cup is still kept for the third and fourth division teams to improve the financial situation of those clubs. He also says, but a tight calendar, too many games, this is something to speak and discuss. The other issue changed is you would have to have a replay. This had been changed. Now other countries you play extra time and penalties and never have replays. Those are topics you could speak about. And about the replays, this is about the FA Cup fixtures where if a team does manage to draw the game, that you have to have a replay fixture instead of going into extra time and penalties, which is now no longer because they did change that rule. So that was pretty much it from the second question from Ralph Rangnick as well. And like I told you, with Rangnick, it's short, it's sweet, it's on point, no fairy tales, no bedtime stories. It's all on point. So that is what I like in Rangnick, and the fact that it is very short makes it more interesting as well, because you don't have to stick on for a long time in front of your screen as well. It's short, it's sweet, you know what he is going to have, what he is going to say. He's on point. So let's move on to the next question. The final question that was asked from Ralph Rangnick is uh, how challenging this week has been, and the availability of the players, especially due to COVID-19 and the COVID outbreak in Manchester United, is what Ralph Rangnick was asked. And what he did have to say is short and sweet as well. As far as I could see today in training, they are all in good shape. All the players, they did their homework, had their schedule to train at home, and they stuck to that schedule and that program. He also further said, from what I saw today in training, I can say most of them, if not all of them, might be available to face Newcastle, but I might have to make some different decisions who will be in the squad and the starting 11. I repeat, but I might have to make some different decisions in who will have to be making that starting 11 in the squad, is what Ralph Rangnick did have to say. Interesting, he has to say that, is he going to make changes, because throughout the past few matches we did see Fred and Scott McTominay making appearances, and maybe there is a change in the midfield. Definitely there will be changes in the defense with Rafael Varane coming back as well. Are we going to see Edinson Cavani back? Are we going to see Donny van de Beek in that midfield? Is it going to be Luke Shaw starting at left back instead of Alex Telles? Is it going to be Aaron Wan-Bissaka once again? So plenty of interesting questions. And yes, definitely you'll get your answer on Monday, or you could say Sunday midnight as well. Excuse me once again. So interesting. That is pretty much it from Ralph Rangnick's pre-match press conference. And like I said, it was short, it was sweet. A few journalists, which I think is because it is Christmas Eve. Plenty of people on vacation as well, enjoying family time. This is the time you have to spend with your family. It's a merry time. It's a holy time as well. So definitely on vacation, everything aside, your laptops, your phone, everything aside. You bring your family together, open up presents, share moments of joy, laughter, happiness. It's family, it's fun. So yes, definitely it has to be as such during these times as well. You don't get them often, and when you do have to enjoy. Hamid Aman says, let's go my boy. Thanks a lot for all your love showed by you guys. It really gives me a smile to see you guys out here making up, sparing a little time and coming out and watching the show as well. Amidst times like these where you are normally on vacation, spending time with your family, and you are barely at home at times like this as well. So appreciate this time sacrificed on behalf of this show. And it is you, the community, that keeps the show going, keeps the channel running as well. So do keep tuning. If you are new to subscribe to our channel, smash a like on the video and share this video as well. And just before I wrap this show up, a little bit of updates within the week. There is a stadium upgrade that will be happening as well. Let me try to give you that update. So Manchester United are upgrading their stadium finally. We all wanted an update, and it is finally being updated. In fact, an upgrade as well. We've all been talking about the lack of facilities at Manchester United comparing other stadiums, since most other stadiums have been upgraded. You look at the Spurs stadium, it's incredible. The training ground, the Spurs stadium itself. I remember Manchester United fans saying that the Spurs fans don't deserve that stadium because Spurs are Spurs. But I think Manchester United specifically needed a huge upgrade as well, so the upgrade is going as well. Manchester United at the moment are in discussion, are in talks with architectural, in fact, what are in uh, talks with companies as well for the construction with the rightful people as well. So that is that. And from what I hear is that the stadium capacity will increase from 74,000 to 80,000 as well. That is what I hear. We never know what will happen. We'll see how things go, and how they want to do is they do this is in phases. They don't want the team to shift to another stadium for their games as well while the upgrade is going on. So they want to do it in phases, in a way in which it will not be a hindrance to the first team and the games as well. Further updates on Martial. We've got updates on Junior Alvarez as well, the striker at River Plate, and also a discussion that it has happened between the managers of the Premier League clubs as well, and Jordan Henderson himself, who is a representative of the Premier League club captains. And this discussion is about the five substitutions as well. So hopefully we will get an update on this as well. It will be interesting to see what happens, if the Premier League will opt for the five substitutions, or is the Premier League going to opt for the three substitutions and stick to their decision as well. And like I shared my opinion, I would go for the three substitutions, and I did give you my reasons for it as well, because I think the five substitutions takes off that advantage, takes off that cutting edge in the game when it comes to the bottom half of the table, teams in the bottom half of the table as well. Moving on, we've got updates on Anthony Martial. Anthony Martial's agent did come a few weeks back. Did come out a few weeks back and did reveal that Anthony Martial wants to leave Manchester United as well. Anthony Martial himself did have a meeting with Ralph Rangnick, and yes, he will. He did have a meeting with Ralph Rangnick as well, so in order to discuss his future at Manchester United and reveal his desire to leave Manchester United, especially since he wants to get into that French national squad before the World Club. He wants World Cup, goodness sake. He wants to be a part of the World Cup as well, and he wants to be playing games, and he feels that if he moves from Manchester United, he will get that game time, and if he does score about 20 to 30 to 40 goals, he definitely will get into that French squad. So yes, I'm happy that he has come out and spoken to the manager straight off, rather than like Mino Raiola with Paul Pogba, where Raiola keeps coming out onto the press and uttering all that bullshit. So let's move on. Manchester United is linked to Junior Alvarez, if that is the right way to pronounce the name. It's Junior Alvarez from River Plate, number 9 at River Plate, and this is reported by a tier 1 Argentinian source as well. Reports link him from a tier 1 Argentinian source. So yes, and as far as I see, this seems to be a reliable source. I'm not quite sure what is the actual story behind Manchester United and Junior as well, but it seems to be a reliable source. Like I told you, it's a tier 1 Argentinian source. About this player, I did watch a compilation video of him. Normal compilation videos are quite good. We all know, a compilation video could always make Phil Jones a better defender than Van Dijk as well. But from what I saw and from what I hear, this player's got plenty of pace. Not plenty, but yes, he's a decent player with pace. He's got that, extra bit of fuel in him. Dribbles quite well, and he's quite a decent player. But to be honest, to be judging him, I really don't know anything specific like I do know about the Manchester United players. He could be the next Argentina, he could be the next Messi, he could be the next Neymar, you never know. But he's been doing quite well at River Plate as well. The thing is, when players shift from is the actual question, in simple words, the actual question is he a Manchester United player? Does he have what it takes to be Manchester United player? I'm not quite sure. We'll see how things go. Plenty of other teams linked to him as well, and I think time will tell what is well. Apart from that, we've seen a few other links to Manchester United as well. such as Boubacar Kamara, who is linked to Manchester United from Marseille. He will be out of contract the next summer. And yes, Manchester United are planning to get him in January. He is also a defensive midfielder. I think would be a good signing. I think we are starting to get linked. Manchester United specifically are starting to get linked to players that are very much Ralph Rangnick type signings as well. So that is pretty much it for tonight. A few news here and there. The stadium upgrade. Martial wants to leave. Alvarez links. The managers coming together for a meeting on the 5 substitutions as well. United in fact linked to Junior Alvarez as well. The squad is back fit, 25 players available apart from Paul Pogba. Manchester United will be taking on Newcastle on, you could say, Tuesday midnight, Tuesday at 1:30 a.m. as well. So do tune in, watch that. Tune in on next Sunday at 10 p.m. for our next show. It won't be the match reaction and player rating since the match will be afterwards. But do tune in, we'll have a show for you, most probably a show, or in fact a Manchester United news show. It's been a long time since we had a show on the latest on news as well, a news show specifically related to news. So that will be a short show, most probably. So do tune in on Sunday for that. That will be the 26th, if I'm not wrong. Tomorrow is Christmas. Tonight is Christmas Eve. Tomorrow will be Christmas. That will be on Boxing Day. So do tune in for that, and do send in your predicted lineups as well, predicted scores, predicted starting 11 and score as well. And if you do get it right, I'll do give you a shout out the next show and on our Instagram channel. And as you say, this is my predicted lineup for the Newcastle game, a 4-2-2-2 as Ralph Rangnick goes. It's the 4 defenders from me: Alex Telles, Rafael Varane makes it back into the starting 11 alongside Harry Maguire and Diogo Dalot. And since just because Ralph Rangnick did say that he will have to make a few changes in the starting 11 and the squad, I've opted for Donny van de Beek over Scott McTominay, which I feel Scott McTominay did have a good game last time around, but I still feel Donny van de Beek deserves that chance. And I think since the team has had a long break, Rangnick has had a few training sessions as well with the team now. I think this is the time to give Van de Beek an opportunity, considering it is Newcastle as well, who have not been in the best of forms as well. I think they'll be hoping for that January transfer window to come as soon as possible blip in a blip as well, because they want to get those transfers in and get above that relegation zone. So it is Ralph Rangnick. In fact, it is Donny van de Beek alongside Fred for me, and our two midfielders, the number 10s, Bruno Fernandes and Jadon Sancho Fernandes, who we have seen is not quite good with this formation, who I think will take time to adapt to this formation. And yes, the two strikers, Cristiano Ronaldo and Edinson Cavani, makes it back to the starting 11 for me. And I hope to see a thrilling game with Cavani coming back, especially because of his work rate. Apart from that, my score prediction for you is uh, score prediction. Last time we played Newcastle, it was 4-0. We've got Rafael Varane coming back, so I'm going for a clean sheet. I say once again, I think it'll be 4-0. Ronaldo is going to have a cracker of a game alongside Edinson Cavani for me, so my prediction is 4-0. And before I wrap things up, do follow us on Instagram at the United.forum. The link is in the description as well. Do go head out there, hit onto that link in the description and give us a follow. If you want, if you do subscribe to our channel, smash a like on the video and share this video. Until I see you next Sunday at 10 p.m. Have a blessed weekend. Yes, it is the vacation. Enjoy your time with your family as well, and have a very Merry Christmas. Good night. This is the United Forum.